Ireland, we tried to find a way to
LGNA
have our independence, to look after ourselves. We asked France for help, we asked Spain for help. If we could have got to Nigeria, we would have come and asked you for help. We asked everybody for help. Everybody tried to help us, but we still didn't succeed. Why? Because the British Empire was the biggest empire on the planet, as we know from our history of Africa. It's the biggest empire, the biggest navy on the whole planet. But we maintained our core identity for ourselves. Our language was spoken amongst the people. We weren't allowed to go to school. People of my family were not allowed to go to school. There was no schools. They didn't exist. So how do you think language and literature and learning was passed down? It was passed down in an oral tradition. So when you talk about Ariki, this is our tradition. We have an identical tradition in my country. Identical tradition where your standing in your society and in your community is based on your families. The first thing you do is you say, is Misha Padar Rain, I'm Peter Ryan, is Tibber Oran, my grand history. My grandparents are from Tipperary, it's Osbalya my history. My parents are from Dublin and Peter, and then people go,
International.
Now I know who you are. Now I know who you are, okay? So our history is a little bit different. So, and of course some people over the years that profited very nicely from, and we have the advantage of course of getting the English language. We didn't like it at the time, but it's a nice little advantage now that we have it. And some people, of course they said, oh look, it makes much more sense for us to park our separate identity and just become British, because we kind of look like the British anyway, kind of similar to them, and Britain's not all that bad. Well, it was very bad for us, because a thing called the Great Hunger came from the 1840s, Sarah told us about it earlier, but it wasn't the first time. This happened in the 1700s, this happened in the 1600s, where Tunde knows well in Ireland, 30,000 people were killed by one guy who's the founder of the Parliament in London. He's called Oliver Cromwell. If you say his name in Ireland, if you want to clear a room in Ireland, if you want to clear the room, don't push the fire alarm. Just say, I like Oliver Cromwell. All the Irish will just leave. It's really interesting. But in British history, he's a hero for them, because he. So what do you think it gave them? It gave them a spirit. We're not going to be broken by anything. We're not going to be divided by anything. If I see my neighbour on the road, I'm going to ask him. If I see somebody who goes to church with me on the road, I'm going to say, hey, what can I help you with? So some of the largest companies in the United States of America, such as Mutual Bank of America, such as Mutual Insurance of America, such as Penn Bank, they were founded by the Irish in the 1840s and 50s. Does anybody know why? Because the bank would not allow them to come in, because they could not borrow money. So they started their own bank. 2 weeks ago, President Biden came to Ireland. He came and visited Ireland. Now the reason why that's very interesting is that US companies employ 200,000 people in Ireland. 200,000 people. The top 10 technology companies in the world. I think we're all a bit addicted to the mobile phone, including me. Facebook, Meta it's called now. Meta, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Amazon. Where do you think they have their European headquarters? Do you think it's in Paris, London, Germany? No, it's in Ireland. Why are they coming to Ireland? Part of it is the people, education, a highly young population committed to that. But part of it, we like to think, is also a bit of an openness to people. Because we have travelled around the world, we are open to other nationalities coming to us and to partnering with us. And we don't have a colonial memory of us being on top. Our colonial memory is the exact opposite. When there was no value placed on us. When we're told, I need help, no. No blacks, no dogs, no Irish, come in here. So we said, right, we'll build our own place. we'll do our own thing. And this is what Biden when he came to Ireland, this is what he said. He said, I was raised in my mother's house and my grandmother's house to say, you're not better than anybody, but there's nobody who's going to tell you you can't do what it is you want to do. If you get yourself educated, nothing can stand in your way. It's kind of incredible. It's kind of an incredible story. The third point around the drive and energy that moves me forward is around the journey that I would tell you. When I joined the Department of Foreign Affairs, I wanted to help
International.